We were walking through Puerto Escondido the way that we always did, slow, steady, like the earth itself was guiding us through the heat and the ocean breath. The air smelled like salt and ripe fruit, and the sun clung to our skin in the familiar Oaxacan way, soft but insistent. My grandmother held my arm the way that she always has in the My grandmother held my arm in the way that she always has since I was a child. Her grip was warm and protective, and it's a gesture that says that this is my granddaughter, mi niña, and my pride. And then as these two women passed us, their hands intertwined, laughing in that quiet, private way that lovers do. My grandmother released a sentence so gentle yet so heavy, and it felt like it changed the direction of the wind. El lesbianismo es un desperdicio de la mujer. Lesbianism is a waste of womanhood. She said it so casually, like commenting on the weather. No malice, no hesitation, just an inherited truth spoken out loud. Her words were drifted into the warm air, but I felt them land in the deepest part of me. Little did she know the granddaughter at her side, still performing straightness, still hiding tenderness she didn't yet have language for, was part of the community she dismissed so easily. My footsteps faltered, but my heart did not. Silence has its own heartbeat, and mine echoed loudly that afternoon. I kept walking, and I kept smiling, and I kept pretending that I wasn't touched. In Latino families, this kind of pretending becomes a ritual and an unspoken contract between love and fear. I stored her words the way that I stored many others, quietly, deep in the ribcage, where they could not betray me, but also could not be forgotten. Later, I learned the silence was not unique. Research shows that Latina and Chicana lesbians are among the least likely to come out to their grandparents, shaped by cultural expectations, Catholic beliefs, and gendered norms that define womanhood as something heterosexual and dutiful. The Trevor Project reports that 49% of Latinx LGBTQ youth face discrimination tied to their sexuality within the last year. And the Human Rights Campaign found that 57.4% experience at least one negative or rejecting encounter from family or community members. These statistics are not abstract. They are lived, and they are the air that many queer Latinas breathe. They're invisible weight that I carried that day in Puerto Escondido. In my family, queerness has a history, forged in tension, softened by the years but never forgotten. My grandfather once rejected his son, which is my uncle, for being gay. Not dramatically, not violently, but with distance, coldness, and silence, and the kind of rejection that still lingers in the walls long after the apology. Even though they've reconciled, the wound still remains alive in my sister and me. We inherited the fear without ever fully witnessing its beginning. In our family, silence became a form of protection, love refracted through the rules of another era. When I interviewed my sister for this project, she'll admit that she also never planned to come out to her grandparents. I can't do it, she said softly, and I can't be the next person that they lose, even for a little while. Her confession mirrored my own unspoken choice. Together, we learned that sometimes the closet is not a place for shame, but a shelter for the storms that created long before we were born. I return often to that walk in Puerto Escondido. My grandmother's words, soft, mistaken, rooted in a world that taught her to fear what she never had the chance to understand. But I also return to myself, to the truth that my queerness is not a waste, but rather an expansion of womanhood, a widening, a deepening, and a reclamation. My grandmother may never know, my grandfather may never fully understand, and my sister and I never speak certain truths out loud to them. But this is about recognition. It's about naming the intersections of culture, power, silence, and fear, an identity that they no longer name me. And in telling this story the way that I choose, I finally step out of the shadow of that sentence that's spoken in that Oaxacan sun as I walk forward with myself. Thank you.